Amphibious vehicles were used by both the Axis and Allied powers during the Second World War. The US in particular utilised amphibious vehicles to land thousands of troops on beaches across the Pacific. For the Germans, the Schwimmwagen was yet another example of a vehicle capable of travelling great distances in water. It was used extensively across the Eastern and Western Front. But what about this vehicle? Meet the Landwasserschlepper. This interesting looking vehicle was effectively an amphibious tractor used by the Wehrmacht. But why isn't it more well known? In today's video we look at the LWS, Germany's strange amphibious vehicle of World War II. If you enjoy this video and want to see more, hit that subscribe button. It's free and really helps the channel reach more history lovers like you. The LWS's literal translation is Land Water Tractor, and being a tractor, its main purpose was to haul or push heavy objects, cross rivers, and transport troops where necessary. The need for amphibious vehicles in the German army was minimal. This was mainly due to the fact that the vast majority of countries they intended on conquering were accessible via mainland Europe, the obvious exception being Britain, which is why the project began to gain some momentum. The LWS would essentially be the hull of a motorboat, which was then fixed in place on top of a tracked vehicle chassis. Propellers were attached to allow for movement in the water, and of course the tracks allowed it to travel across the ground once out of the water. It was a long vehicle at 8 meters or 28 feet, and at 14 tons it was exceptionally heavy. However, with proper weight distribution in the engineering process, its performance once in the water was quite good. A crew of 2 could control the vehicle, and its length allowed for a capacity of 20 fully armed soldiers. By the time the Luftwaffe was beginning to plan their attacks on Britain for the eventual Channel crossing, only 7 examples of the LWS had been created. The lack of planning as to exactly how Germany expected to get its soldiers and equipment from France to England meant that the manufacturing process for these vehicles was ramped up. But with Operation Sea Lion's eventual cancellation, this manufacturing again tapered off. And around the same time the following year, in 1941, only 14 examples were doing the rounds. The LWS was excellent in the water, not particularly meant for ocean-going exercises. It was mainly intended for river crossings. Its huge Maybach V12 engine allowed for great towing capacity as well. You can see here an LWS pushing a German midget submarine into the water. This gave the Germans an excellent machine to move objects in and out of the water where needed. Also, a special trailer was adapted for the tractor. This gave it the ability to load items into the trailer, which also floated in the water behind as it travelled along. The vehicle would see limited service mainly due to its lack of numbers. Examples were used in North Africa as well as on the Eastern Front, but with its sheer size and slow speed on land, coupled with its lack of armour or any weapons, meant that it was a sitting duck for Allied attacks. All in all, it was a very interesting German vehicle, but one that ultimately suffered from its lack of numbers, lack of protection, and lack of appropriate deployment, but a great example of a lesser-known vehicle of World War II. Had you ever heard of the German LWS of World War II? What did you think? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to expand your knowledge and join the growing Premier History community.